What's up guys, this is Yacineygo and today we're going to be going over the whole set spoiler of Alliance Insight in order to try to figure out what are the best cards and which cards you should be on the lookout for the upcoming format, because this set, I will say right now, it is extremely meta relevant, and honestly some could even say that it's kind of like a tier 0 set really because of Malice, because of the fact that the new support is idiotic, but also there's other cards that are very good for other decks, so yeah, it definitely will have a massive impact on Yu-Gi-Oh! That we will definitely feel for the next couple of months. But anyways, before we go any further, you already know the drill. As always, smash the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so right off the bat for the super rares, I think we have a lot of really interesting ones. So Eldlich is getting new support. And honestly, it's a really good card. Elixir of the Glorious Golden Land. It's both an Elixir and a Golden Land card. So it overlaps with both like sub-archetypes of Eldlich in a way. And it's a continuous trap monster that summons itself, so it's very easy to search with, a bunch of things like Silhouette Rabbit can go into it. Awesome card overall, and yeah, it's a card that also fixes the issue of Eldlich of not having an infinite grind game, because unlike Labyrinth, where you're always recycling back your cards from the graveyard to the field, you're, in Eldlich, you're banishing the cards from your graveyard, and then eventually you'll run out of gas, but with Elixir of the Glorious Golden Land, you can set back your banished Golden Land or Elixir spells and traps, so that is no longer an issue for you. So yeah, fantastic card, and also it's another disruption. It's just a better card than Hakuero overall, so yeah, it's arguable whether it's better or not than Conquistador. I guess both of them have their, ups and downs, but yeah, Elixir of the Glorious Golden Land, fantastic card for sure. And also, there's a new fusion monster for Eldlich, and even though it's a fusion, it actually looks more like a Link 1 monster in the way you're summoning it, because realistically, you're just summoning this card by tributing Eldlich the Golden Lord or any light zombie while Eldlich the Golden Lord is on your field or graveyard. And yeah, this card is also very good for going second, because when it is sent from the field to the grave, you can special summon an Eldlich monster from your deck, extra deck, or grave, which means that you can summon the old Eldlich fusion monster, and that one kind of has like a change of heart effect by tributing a zombie monster, if I recall correctly. So yeah, fantastic card for sure. And Eldlich is probably gonna be at least on somewhat of a same level as Labyrinth, so just in case you kind of needed like something to like compare them, Labyrinth can play Dominus Impulse and Eldlich can play Dominus Purge. So, sometimes Dominus Purge is better, sometimes Dominus Impulse is better. Right now, I think Dominus Impulse is better, but whatever, it's fine. Argostars, also the new support, is pretty cool. I don't really think that this monster is, like, insane, but yeah, the spell card, I think, is pretty nice. Yeah, that one searches a monster, and also it's a quick play, so you can use it on draw phase. Not that it matters, because this deck doesn't lose to draw. But yeah, the Argostars are just going to keep getting better and better, because the first wave of support, clearly not enough. There's only one monster and, like, 3 continuous shop. Now it's getting, like, 1 new monster, 1 new spell, and I think something else somewhere. But yeah, whatever. It's not super relevant. But yeah, if you want to play Argostars, honestly, just wait. There's no reason to do it right now. The new Diabel / White Forest / Sinful Spoils support is quite remarkable, and it's enough to create a new top-tier threatening strategy. So White Forest has always been a deck that could randomly destroy you out of nowhere. I mean, it's a good deck. It's just that it wasn't like an amazing deck at what it was, trying to do. It's just like, why would you play White Forest when you can just play almost any other combo deck that does pretty much the same thing? Like, obviously everybody can play the Fiendsmith engine, so it's not like I should be impressed by your ability to do that. The interruptions that the White Forest deck does are very scary. It's like a Book of Eclipse off of the Silvera, and then there's the ability to like quick synchro with Popular of the White Forest so that you can make Snake Eyes execute Dragon. And then you also have the Diabelstar Vengeance, which is a broken card. Unfair. It's like destroy a card on the field and then special summon a tuner synchro monster that is an illusion or spellcaster. So this is how you can summon the Popular or the Silvera, so that you get the Book of Eclipse or the Quick Sync into something that can interrupt you even more. So yeah, honestly, very good support. The only issue I want to say with White Forest is that you have to play a lot of taxes. I guess that's how I call them. So a lot of bad cards that you gotta play in your deck, like cards like Phileas Diabel, the Diabel Trap, all those cards are just annoying. The Azamina Engine, terrible cards, utter garbage. Like, they don't really bridge into anything at all. And you have to play them in your deck, otherwise you actually just aren't doing enough. And that means that you have less space for non-engine, and also on top of that, if you play the Fiendsmith cards in your deck, you have even less non-ancient, so your deck becomes even better going first, but even worse going second. There's no way this deck doesn't top YCS Providence. There's absolutely no way. It really is a top-tier threat, but I'm kind of hesitant on it. Dragolithia Kunzite is kind of playable in Blue Eyes, but not insane. The new Heraldic Beast support, it's kind of cool. I mean, it allows Raisol to dump Heraldic Beast Patriarch or something, which then foolishes 2 Heraldic Beast monsters from deck to grave. And then you can send Heraldic Beast Leo to search any Heraldic Beast monster. And then you can search Griffin, or you can search the Stad Whale or something, which gets you multiple searches and stuff like that. Basically means that you can hand loop your opponent for 5 off of 1 card. There you go. But you also have to, like, do the weirdest things on Earth. Your extra deck makes no sense. Your deck is worse going second, just for a better going first. And it feels a little bit more win more just when you can play Raisol Mitsurugi instead. But a Heraldic Beast, one thing that you should know about this engine, or I guess deck, whatever, Griffin is very easy to access, obviously, and it's a Wind Wing Beast monster, which means that you might see some Harpy's Featherstorm with this deck. So if you see a Heraldic Beast monster being summoned against you, be on the lookout for Featherstorm. It is basically inevitable. It's like on everybody's radar. I've seen it once, I've seen it more than once even. So yeah, just watch out for that. Red Eyes Metal Clog couldn't care less. Adding Nister cards really good for Malice. You're playing 1 Wizard and 3 backup. And backup is, hold on a second, let's try to check it out. Yeah, backup adding Nister. This is a Cyrus Tuner. So you can actually search it with Cyrus Wicked. And yeah, this is a 3 of, because it can search your Wizard. And then the Wizard kit is also like a monster reborn, and it summons itself from the hand. Very scary. It means that Malice now has additional extenders to push through Artifact Lancia. And the deck can actually beat Artifact Lancia now, which is very concerning. Yeah, Malice is scarier than ever, unfortunately. Yeah, anyways, World of Spirits and like the Ancient Fairy cards, they all completely suck. I mean, technically, Regulus is like actually overpowered. Like if we can try, there we go, Regulus the Fairy Beast. This card is insane, like extremely broken, but there's only one issue. Every other card is dog shit, so there you go, you're not playing that deck. But Ancient Fairy Life Dragon, good news is, this card is pretty nice in Blue Eyes because it can attack while being in defense position. So basically, if you have Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, you go attack for 3k, attack for 25, and then still in battle phase, Spirit tag out into Ancient Fairy. It has to summon in defense, but this monster attacks in defense. It's kind of like a total defense Shogun, and then it's another 33, and it should be exactly 8800 damage, meaning that you can kill your opponent very easily off of like any 1-card combo, really. Philia Regis, this card is like 1 of 3 indirect support for the new, not really for the new decks, but the decks that are going to be getting support in, I actually completely forgot the name of the set, but there is Dragon Maid, Orchist, and Punk. This is like indirect Dragon Maid support, so it doesn't have Dragon Maid in its name, but technically it's supposed to work with that, like even though, like you can actually look at the fusion materials, 1 Dragon Fusion and a level 7 or higher Dragon monster. And also, even the effect synergizes a lot with Dragon Maid. There's another one for Orchist, and then there's the one for Punk. So, yeah, Jiraishin, the Cursed Thunder God. This is a level 11 Synchro, and clearly Punk is very good at doing level 11 Synchro monsters because they have level 3 tuners and then level 8 non-tuners. So, yeah, it's basically built in their engine. And there's another Orchist monster that doesn't have Orchist in its name. I'm just gonna have to try to figure it out. Where is it? There you go. I think it's this one. Dark Machine monster, so it's very easy to send off of like Orchis Nightmare and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Orchis Nightmare sends any the Dark Machine. It's not just an Orchis monster. But yeah, I mean it's fine. It's not garbage. I've seen this card being played in Orchis. It's cool. So yeah, it's up to you if you really want to care about these cards. But when the new decks will, when the new support will come out, these are cards that you can definitely look into. Evil Twin support is very good, and honestly, it's probably enough to put Evil Twin on the map, but then again, it's just a normal summon-dependent deck, so it doesn't have like a crazy ceiling. The only thing that's really going for it is very high consistency level and the ability to play a huge amount of non-engine cards. But then again, if you go normal summon effect, then special summon from deck, and then you get hit by Foros, you're kind of screwed. It actually hurts a lot. There's literally no counterplay. There's just none. You're gonna have to give your opponent way too many draws if you want to do anything that is like good. You know, if you want to go for like a Mannequin Cat so that you can target the Fueros and then summon Spell Canceller, that's already 3 draws that you're giving to your opponent. So your opponent will start his turn with like 8 cards in a hand, and all he needs is like basically Imperm, whatever, to beat the Spell Canceller, and then you're dead. So I don't know about that. Anyways, whatever, AI cards, who cares? Abduction, I've already made a video on that. It's not super interesting. The heraldry, like spells and traps, not super insane. All this does is like transform the opponent's monsters into unknown. So against like Malice, they're no longer Malice monsters, so no red ransom. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, no red ransom, no Hearts of Crypture, no white binder. That's actually kind of cute. Malice in the Mirror, that's a very broken card in Malice, and it's a super rare, but you only play one anyways. But yeah, very scary card. I am not looking forward to having to deal with the very specifically for the banished effect of this card. Like, if you actually use this card from your hand to try to negate an opponent's monster effect or something, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care about that. But when this card gets banished, you banish a Malice card from a grave, so that's already a bone, like, very good. And then you add a Malice card from the same kind of type, so monster, spell, or trap from your deck to your hand. So yeah, you can banish, like a hair, and then search, like a, I don't know, like something, or like you can banish a link and then search hair, whatever. You can do infinite things, or you can banish a trap to search a trap, basically. But most importantly, this means that Red Ransom doesn't only search the field spell, because up until now, you know, it was kind of pathetic how if you draw, like, the field spell and you summon the Red Ransom, it's kind of like, all it does is serve as banish fuel for Chessy Cat. That's it, that's all. But now, it's actually a little better than that. Anyways, new Regenesis cards, I've already made a video on that in the past, actually a couple of videos. The engine is really cool, but I don't think it's good enough yet, just because it's only good in like a couple of decks, and the Fiendsmith engine was completely just unnerfed, so why would you play, you know, Regenesis when you can just play Fiendsmith instead? If you want to play Fiendsmith Kashtira, I already think this deck is more competent than playing, you know, Kashtira Regenesis. So I don't know, that's just my 2 cents, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe actually Regenesis is better than Fiendsmith. And honestly, I really hope I am wrong, but I do know for a fact that this engine is actually quite solid in the OCG, and it's just gonna keep seeing more play over time as they hurt the other engines along with it. I'm not gonna bother going over the AI Synchro Xyz monsters because they suck. Cyber Dark Worm, okay, so Cyber Dragon actually gets more support than Alliance Insight. Very disappointing support. I'm actually really unhappy about it because Cyber Dark Worm has a very good effect, but for some unknown reason, it's randomly once per duel. I don't understand why they've done that, but just because of that, the deck is just not playable at all. It's just complete trash. It should have been once per turn. There is no reason why an effect like this should be once per duel. And also Cyber Yormangder, if I can find it. Yeah, Yormangder, whatever. Yeah, this is like one of the worst cards I've read in a while. It's actually very bad. It's only playable going second. Yeah, sure, it's searchable by emergency, but it's still not a Cyber Dragon monster, so it's not even like you can say it's insane. And also, searching a polymerization is complete trash. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care about polymerization in Cyber Dragon, which is not trying to play polymerization anyways. So yeah, they're trying way too hard to do things that Cyber Dragon isn't trying to do. For example, incentivize people to play polymerization in it, or incentivize people to play Cyber Dark cards in Cyber Dragon, which have literally no synergy, and actually, if anything, I'd say even anti-synergy, because now it means that you gotta play Cybernetic Horizon, which is not good because it locks you out of like non-machine monsters, which means a lot of good plays that you're trying to do in Cyber Dragon, they're no longer gonna work anymore. So yeah, very pathetic. I absolutely despise the new support. It's just not good. It's basically just 2 1-ups for the deck. Nevertheless, you can expect a new Cyber Dragon video coming up relatively soon. I can't promise anything. Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice. This is a Ryuge card, so Shining Sarcophagus. I don't care about this card whatsoever, but yeah, it's very similar to like Apprentice Illusion Magician, I think. Just like, it's easy to summon, and then it searches Shining Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand. So in other words, it's basically just 1 new starter. So in other words, it's pretty good. I'll take that. The new Lifetime Monster, pretty cool. March Hare, unfair, completely broken. This is probably the best card in the set, actually. New Dragon Ruler support is fine, but this deck is kind of like in the same league as Light Sword and Tier, where the ceiling level is completely insane when you go first, especially when you go uninterrupted. You're basically just always making unbreakable boards, but going second, all you really have is gas and engine in order to beat your opponent. You can't really play non-engine cards in Dragon Ruler because the engine of Dragon Ruler cards is very card hungry. Like, you gotta discard so many cards, and you have to have so many cards in hand. It's kind of like old school, like Pendulum. You needed, like, basically your full hand so that you could set up your skills, like, fuel your extra deck and stuff like that, and just play the game. Dragon Ruler is very similar. You just need a lot of, like, actual dragon monsters in order to play. So yeah, you can't really play Imperm, Veiler, Ash, etc. It's just not gonna work. And if you start using them as discard fodder, then it just means that your actual engine is worse, because instead of discarding cards that have like graveyard effect, you're discarding cards that you actually want to keep in your hand. So that makes you feel even worse when you're also getting hand trapped and processed. It just means that you have less value off of your cards. So yeah, that's the issue that I have with Dragon Ruler, unfortunately, but eventually maybe it will become good. Star Raisol is very similar to Malice March here in the sense where it is extremely broken. And actually, you can kind of argue that Raisol is another one of the really powerful decks that we will have to worry with once we get Alliance Insight. Even though pure Raisol is losing a lot in popularity because it's so much easier to deal with than any other deck. Like Raisol Mitsurugi, I think is actually more concerning than pure Raisol. Because this deck, like if you want to play, you know, 7th Ascension, then it's like 13 starters, but then you lose so hard to like Unicorn Banishing Masquerade or like Droll Logbird on like anything really. So I don't know, I just don't really feel like this deck is there yet, you know? It's just that it got like really heavily nerfed on the ban list, losing 3 like names and then 2 Bonfire. It's like 5 less starters and you're not playing Desires with like a bunch of like 2-ofs and stuff. It just really isn't worth it. So yeah, I don't think like pure Raisol is going to be super popular, but Star Raisol can still be played in basically every single Raisol version. But it's obviously better in the pure build because you can also set Plugin and Plasma Hole. It's not just the field spell. And in the pure build, I just feel like there's no one hand trap that really beats you. So when you don't brick, I feel like actually the pure build might be the better one out of all of them. New White Forest field spell is really good. Actually, it's almost broken, but it does lock you out of like summoning dark monsters from the extra deck, very specifically for the start of turn. So yeah, no Azamina Ilya Sylvia, which means no way of negating Nibiru, so you're basically gonna have to rely on the Fiendsmith engine, or you're gonna have to do like weird things, unfortunately. A code, I guess they changed the name to Allied Code Talker adding Nister. This is an Omni Negate, and it's super easy to access. It's actually an unfair card, and it's a soul charge. Everything about this card is insanity. Like, it's just actually Exodia. This is completely insane. I can't believe Konami printed a card like this. But it is also one of the best cards in the whole set by a landslide. Goldion Schneider, or Gordian Slicer. This card is kind of like the new Ultimate Slayer / Metal Tronus. It's a new board breaker, but it's not super insane, unfortunately. I mean, or I guess fortunately for some people. It's, I've already made a video on it, but I don't really think it's going to be played too much. As a matter of fact, I actually don't think a single person on Earth will be playing this once we get it, except for Tenpai Dragon. That's pretty much it. It is not main deckable either, because it's just a normal spell card, and it's very expensive to use. You gotta banish so many cards from your extra deck in order to bounce so few cards, and your opponent can respond. He just can't negate, that's it. That's the only thing that makes this card, like, worth looking into, because otherwise, it really just wouldn't be good at all. Moving on to the Ultra Rares, yeah, there's pretty much nothing since we covered the QCRs, which is Secrets and Ultras. And for commons, I mean, we have, like, even more Regenesis and cards and stuff like that. Ryuge End, I do know that this card is actually quite interesting. So your opponent cannot target Ryuge monsters you control with card effects. Usually, you wouldn't really care too much, but when all of your monsters are, like, 3k plus, this could actually be kind of decent, especially if you have, like, Floodgates running around. And then, if the Ryuge Pendulum monster is on your field or face-up extra deck, you can shuffle 2 Ryuge monsters from your hand, grave, and or banish into the main deck. Then target one monster on the field, destroy it, so you can destroy your own monsters in order to start triggering your Ryuge effects, or your opponent's cards. And then, if this card is destroyed, you can set one non-continuous non-continuous Ryuge trap from your deck, graveyard, or banished. Which is also interesting. I think there's only one other target at the current moment. I'm not 100% sure, actually. Maybe there might be 2. Yeah, there's Ryuge Rivalry, which is kind of like, yeah, special summon a Ryuge monster from your hand, deck, or grave, but return it to the hand during the end phase. Yeah, it's alright. Okay, it's fine. So yeah, I think this card is kind of cool still. It has multiple effects, so a continuous effect, an ignition effect, and a trigger effect. I mean, I'll take it. Oh, actually, no, it's 2 trigger effects, right? It's not proactive. You gotta wait until... No, it's an ignition effect. Yeah, just like you have to have a activation requirement, but that's it. Yeah, this card's nice. I do like it. Sinful Spell, Sanctification. Yeah, this card is not being played in anything, so yeah, forget about that. Don't even waste your cards with the cards that I don't really recommend looking into. Dragon's Mind is one of the best cards in the set, actually. It's really interesting, but I don't think this card was going to be played as a 3-of, because unlike Judgment and stuff like that, this is a once per turn effect, and also you have to have a monster with either a 2500 attack, original attack, or defense. So it's very good in Blue Eyes. It's very good in Pure Raisol because you got Detonator. And also you got Duo Drive, I think, has exactly 25, even with a... Because it has to be original attack, so obviously if it's like 24 and boosted, yeah, there you go, Duo Drive. So even if your monsters are boosted, it doesn't matter, because again, it checks for original attack or defense. It's just one of the two. And if you have like Kashtira Unicorn, that also works even if you have the Kashtira Field Spell. But also in the graveyard, if you got a, you can pay 25 in order to set it back. So if you use it on your opponent's turn, you can use it again on your own turn and then start negating like hand traps and stuff. Because it's not like Solemn Judgment where it only negates spell and trap cards and then monster summons. It negates spell, trap card, and monster effects, but it doesn't negate summons. So yeah, it's very similar to like Salamangreat Roar actually, where you get 2 usage off of it. It's really nice. I like this card a lot, honestly. I think it will definitely see a lot of play. And like I said, it's probably going to be optimal in decks like Blue Eyes, Raisol, maybe like Kashtira Regenesis. I have no idea, but I'm looking very forward to see what people are going to be cooking up with Dragon's Mind. For sure, a very good one. I don't really care about most of the cards here. Evil Hero, Vicious Claw. I actually kind of forgot that this card was in the set. More Ancient Fairy garbage. They completely suck ass. Oh, Deputy. Oh, yeah, okay. This is actually one of the best cards in the set as well. It's a level 4 Light Fiend normal monster. So it's a normal monster, meaning that it is summonable off of Primite Roar, so it's very good in Primite Fiendsmith. And it is a Light Fiend, so obviously Fiendsmith enabler. But most importantly, right, it is a level 4, unlike White Dustin, which is a level 1. So White Dustin kind of didn't really do anything other than Fiendsmith comboing. But with Deputy, not only can you make rank 4s using it and Primite either barrel to make like Baguska, even if you have to like summon it off of Lordly Low, doesn't matter too much. Or you can synchro it off with a Bestial or Necroker Princess to make a Light and Dark Chaos Angel. That is quite nice. So yeah, this is definitely a huge upgrade from White Dustin, and definitely a step into the right direction for Primite Fiendsmith. I think this card is single-handedly enough to like push it to the next level. Definitely upgraded by like 1 notch for sure. So I do like this card a lot, and it could even be played in other decks, like decks other than Primite Fiendsmith. Like even Primite Fiendsmith Blue Eyes could technically play Deputy. Chaotic Elements, this card is going to be extremely broken once we're going to be getting K9. But even right now, if you want to search like Danger Nessie and then use the Graveyard effect to send like steal, you know, like the what's his face? Raisol Detonator. There you go. That's pretty nice because your opponent obviously will be controlling a light pyro monster. So yeah, it's really just the Graveyard effect of this card that is insane. The rest doesn't really matter too much. If you want to play like 3 copies of this card in the side deck, in a deck that discards a lot, like White Forest potentially, you could do that. It's really up to you. But again, the actual on-field effect when you activate the card, it's pretty garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, like I said, the Diabelle, Spells and Traps, there are cards that you gotta play, but there are cards that are terrible to draw, like very bad. And no, Curse of the Diabelle is not the card that... Hold on a second. Yeah, actually, no, it is this card. But yeah, no, these cards are just... yeah, it's unfortunate. The Ryuge monster is actually where it gets very interesting. So this card is actually really nasty. Pendulum effect is you can negate your opponent's cards or effect activated in response to the activation of your Ryuge spell or card or effect, then destroy this card. So if your opponent tries to ogre your field spell, doesn't matter, right? Because it's in response to the activation of your spell card or effect. So even if like your opponent is trying to like respond to like something that already activated, you can still negate it. That's actually quite interesting. And then the monster effect is you can tribute a Ryuge monster from your hand or field, except this card, and then special summon this card from your hand. And then if this card is special summon, you can target a card on the field, destroy it. And if this card is destroyed, you can place a Ryuge continuous spell or trap from your deck, graveyard, or banished face up in your field. So it does quite a lot. I mean, it protects your field spell and stuff like that. All the things that actually have to resolve, because honestly, when you ogre the Ryuge field spell or when you ash it, feels like there's no way to lose. No way to win. It's like a card that tries to special summon 3 monsters. You really need it to resolve. This card, I think, especially this card, this is much better than the trap, but even the trap is decent. But this card is like actually really cracked for Ryuge, and I don't know if it's gonna be a 3 of or something, but it definitely will be enough to like make the deck so much better. So I think Ryuge is actually finally gonna be able to be like a pure deck that, you know, can OTK, can stun the opponent. It's kind of like not really comparable to like Tenpai or Tachyon, but maybe in a way, maybe. Prima Materiactor. Nobody played Materiactor before. Nobody's gonna keep playing it, unfortunately. Yeah, it is what it is. The Dragon Ruler spell card that can quick exceed on the opponent's turn. Nobody cares either. I don't know what the hell this is, but it's bad. 7 stars, something, garbage. Sex Samurai, garbage, even though the card's not too bad. Brain Controller, garbage. Spore, garbage. Code Igniter, probably garbage. Oh yeah, actually no, it is, because it's like the AI cards that are only good in Agnister, which is also just not relevant at all. And then Heraldry Crest, Shatterstream. Yeah, okay, like I said, all the Heraldic Beast cards are win more. And then Steam Sabersaurus. If you want to lose brain cells, look at this card. It's really bad. Like, very, very bad. Like, if you want to make, like, rank 4s. Like, if you want to play a Raisol engine in Dinosaur, then you can make this, and then you can destroy baby Ceratosaurus. There you go. That's all you can do. So, yeah, in other words, it completely sucks ass. But, yeah, that's it for this review of Alliance Insight. I guess, in conclusion, the cards that you're really going to be looking at are going to be... well, the new Malice cards, of course, March Hare, the Allied Code Talker Agnister, as well as the Malice in the Mirror, and then the new Raisol cards, so Star Raisol. Apart from that, I mean, the new White Forest cards obviously are relevant. The Regenesis cards are pretty good. Goldion Snyder is irrelevant, honestly. And then a lot of common cards that are actually really good, like the Pity, Chaotic Elements. These cards are common, but they're really good. And yeah, I mean, Dragon's Mind is also very good. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of cool cards that you can get from here, even if you don't want to play like the top tier decks. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.